Hi, good morning, friends. This is Wasim. Welcome to my channel WK in UK. Have you sent your kid to UK, or are you planning to send your kid to UK, or do you know somebody who's planning to come or is already here in the UK to do graduation or post graduation in one of our university? Then this is a video meant for you. We're going to talk about two, three things here. I'm not going to have a very lengthy video, so we'll just cover up two, three prime subject here. First and foremost, I'm going to discuss what it takes in real to send a kid over here to do a graduation or a post graduation. Second thing is we're going to talk about what exactly is your objective, what is your kid thinking about it, and the last one I'll touch upon is basically what are the challenges he's going to face or she's going to face. So let's discuss it aloud. So this is a video on this series. I already had a bilingual video made. This is an English one. So we're going to start this discussion, and this is specially made for my South Indian friends because I know you're not so proficient in Hindi. I mean to say the hardcore Hindi. In my discussion, bilingual video, I really spoke in a very different language. So this is for you, my friend. So let's start all about this. Thank you. So our first topic is what it takes to be here in UK. I'm sure if you have already sent, then you are aware of it. If you're not aware, I think these things will clarify all those things. And if you're planning to send, then this is where it is. So generally people come here to do graduation because graduation is a real very good quality here, whether it's a BSc mathematics, BSc physics, people do BS in computer science, a lot of degrees around, graduations around various subjects, and very good quality and very prominent curriculum and specialized ones. So a lot of people prefer to send their kids to UK for the graduation, and honestly they send to America for post graduation, be it MS or be it MBA, those kind of degrees. Though it's quite popular in UK as well, but somehow this is how it is. Now, let me explain to you as per my understanding. Let's pick one university. Let's say University College London, and you have come to do BSc in something, BSc in mathematics, BSc in computer science, BSc in physics, even if it is a law in one of these colleges. So, what it takes to be here? What are the costs involved? So, this year for an overseas student, let's say in this context, Indian student, the prime tuition fees, annual tuition fees is somewhere close to £39,800. Let's say £40,000. And as per the run rate today, the Forex, if you see Google and put the rates, it's somewhere close to 119 point something something. Let's say roughly 119. It comes to 48 lakhs for first year of annual tuition fees. I'm talking about a round figure. It could be 47.8 something something. So that's the first cost which you're going to incur, and which you are very well aware that this is the tuition fees annually I have to pay. So it's a 3 years graduation multiplied by 3. The second is first year, definitely you would want them to be in a college accommodation, which is very close to it, like 5 minutes, 7 minutes walk, managed by mostly these university hostels, university administration oversees all these things. It's as per the guidelines, very nice, and a kind of a cost effective, I would say. In central London, for instance, I was talking about UCL fees. So let's say you are in an international hall, which is a very prominent hostel provided by UCL, and the cost of that is somewhere close to £1,280 per month. That includes breakfast and the dinner, by the way, which is a very good thing. At least you know that your kid is not going to go hungry to the college. He's not going to come back tired without a food. So that's the first year at least you can talk about. Let's say 1250 on an average, which is low, but let's say into 12 months. So that comes somewhere close to £15,000, which is about 18 lakhs. So 48 lakhs for the annual tuition fees, about 18 lakhs we are talking about just the accommodation. On top of it, definitely you need to put in at least £500 per month to your kid. He may want to eat outside. Of course, the lunch is outside anyway every day. Plus some entertainment, some other expenses. He will go and attend some seminars. He will go and meet some people. Of course, he's come all the way to London. He has to visit some places. He has to go and meet some friends, some historical sites. So definitely the cost is bare minimum 500 is what I can explain to you. So it comes to 6,000 pound, which is again 7 lakhs plus. So put together 48 lakhs plus 18 lakhs plus 7 lakhs plus, put together it comes to 73, or let's say 75 lakhs annually is what is the fundamental cost you're talking about to study here. Multiply it by 3, it comes to somewhere close to 2.2 crore. So definitely, if you're a middle class person or a upper middle class or a high class, then it's not a subject. You should not be watching this video either. So if you're a middle class person or a upper middle class person, this is what it takes in terms of fundamental cost of sending somebody to UK to study, which is close to 2.2 CR. Fair enough. So far, I just wanted to discuss about the cost. Now, what are the possibilities of earning? Of course, as per the student visa, they are allowed to work about 20 hours a week, and it means you're talking about 80 hours in a month, and 20 hours a week means, let's say, maximum they pay is about 15 pound. Anyway, from 10 to 15 is what they get per hour, and they are only allowed, as per officially, is about 20 hours. So 20 multiplied by 15 is 300 pound a week. It means 1200 pound a month they can definitely make. So that's the kind of, if they work part-time and they are able to manage their, will balance out their education with free time, this is what they get. So this is the opportunity to earn something in part-time. And of course, many of the people say, why? They've gone to study, they should focus on studies. A lot of people don't want their girls to work anywhere initially for the part-time purpose. But where do they get these kind of a jobs? Of course, there are a lot of pubs, they've got a lot of restaurants, they've got a lot of Starbucks kind of a cafe there. Central London is full of those. There are a lot of opportunities to do some small work like that. And most of the diaspora, most of the kids which I have seen are working in one of these places, KFCs of the world, Hardee's of the world. They have been working, and they're working hard. They're trying to balance out the whole thing. Of course, kids are very sincere from India. They don't want to put too much of load on their parents, though they know they're capable and they have kind of saved money for this purpose. Still, they just don't want to do this. And let me tell you something from my personal experience. I think, and experience, when I say personal, I have been meeting such students all my last 5 years. I'm here for last almost 5 years. I met people working in KFCs, in Starbucks. I have people working in Indian restaurants, multiple places. They could be doing serving the table, and I have seen people even behind the bar, in the sense behind in a pub, in a bar counter, talking about it, serving the table, making drinks. And a lot of people may not take it very positively, but let me tell you, this is an amazing thing to do. If your kid is doing it, I think you should feel proud of it. And what do they get out of this? It's not just the money, it's an experience. A lot of people can visit UK, but visiting is different, living is different. Going to a college does not teach you what is UK all about. It teaches you how the studies are, and they can really get trained on a subject. But meeting people, random people, talking to them gets a very good understanding of culture, very good understanding of the local ecosystem, business ecosystem. And a lot of kids who come from our side are protective, and they are always living in a particular environment. They know their uncle, aunts, they know the close circle friend, and most of them do not talk beyond their age group even. So this opens kids out, and they become very mature, and they understand then what is good, what is right, how to approach. This really helps them a long term. When they go and appear for an interview, they know how to talk to a person, and how to pick up the accents. How to talk to a northern English people from Scotland side, people from Welsh side, what kind of accents. So this really goes a long way. There's nothing wrong in doing this kind of a work. And another important aspect which I want to talk about over here, of course, in India, if somebody is working in a bar, somebody working in a club, people do not take them very, a very positive frame. They take it, okay, must be, something wrong with this kid, and this parent must not be well off and all those. So somehow some misconceptions are there in our society back in India. It is changing, but still it is there. But over here, they take this very seriously and very respectfully, and everybody takes their job in a very respectful manner. I've seen, kids like one of my son's classmate. He chose not to do A levels, but he went to landscaping and gardening diploma, and he's been working part time all the time, while he's studying here. And in our country we call him a gardener, and people do not look at it in a very 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 big way. They just think, I don't know what's wrong with this kid. He's just 17, 18-year old or 19-year old, and look what he's doing. So is he not bright enough? Is something wrong with his vision? Is he not ambitious enough? People do not take it in a very positive manner, but over here they really respect all these professions. And even if you're an electrician, you're a plumber, you're a driver, people really look at you in a very positive manner. If you're working in a bar and trying to make some money, there's nothing wrong in it. So that's the aspects about what a person has to spend and how a person can recover some of this money. Not necessarily you will get a job from the first day you arrive. It may take a month, it may take 2 months. Imagine so many hundred thousands of plus students all over the world, they're coming to UK at the same time. So obviously there will be a little bit of shuffle between jobs availability and candidates. So it's basically a buyer and seller kind of a market. But definitely in 30 to 45 days time, they settle in and they get a job to start with. And as I told you already, the advantages and the positives and negatives around it. But yes, this is where you have to spend money, which is your annual fees, which is your hostel fees, which is your general expenses. And this is an opportunity which I explained about. One more job I can definitely talk about from very personal experience. My son just got into a BSc Mathematics with University College London. I'm spending the same money because I have not finished 5 years when he applied. So definitely I had to, they considered him as an international student and I had to pay the whole fees. So he chose to do a tuition because he's been studying here for last 4+ years and he scored all A stars in every subject and especially maths and further maths. So his school promoted him internally and a lot of friends and family came together. He's already teaching about 3-4 kids, already taken about 20+ hours to them, and he charges about £30 per hour to teach them mathematics, to prepare them for university, for A levels. So that's another very good option. I personally feel it's a good option because you are in touch with your subject. Every time you're just doing the progression, your base is getting stronger, and it really helps. And it's most of the time virtually. Sometimes people come and sit with him in a coffee shop or even in his room they can come and study. But he prefers to do it online like this. I think it's a very decent way of doing things. 20 hours doesn't apply to him because he's a dependent and he can work actually full time. But this is a very good option of teaching subject. And yes, he was complaining recently that he has to really prepare a lot. It's not that easy as we think that any subject just pick up and talk about. He has to prepare for this. But yes, it's a very good option beyond whatever the traditional things I talked about. So this is about the costing, the whether you talk about earning or spending. Now let's move on to the next one. Now this is a very important subject here. What is your objective? Is it that you're scared or someone who's coming here to study, is it his vision that he wants to study in England or anywhere in UK, or is it you who's cornering him or suggesting him rather that yes, let's have a good education, good quality education in UK? So first and foremost, that's a very important point to think about. Let's say either of the choices. Now you need to be very clear what is your objective. When I objective, like a lot of people say, I have to settle down in UK. I want to be based out of UK. I want to shift my base from here. Let my parents be in India. Let them take a call. I want to, be in UK and I want to settle down here. That's one option. Second option is a very good option. Again, people think, no, let me go there, work for 4-5 years, come back to India, maybe join family business, maybe join some Indian company. So that's the second type of objective. Now, legally what is allowed and how things work out here. So either of the options, and I really feel there is nothing wrong in going back to India after a few years of experience. India is rising, India is shining. whatever you say professionally. I've seen things, how things are happening in India. I have an office back in Bangalore, and I've been running a business for about 15 years. I worked last with Infosys, so I know how the ecosystem of business and job work out there. I run a large recruitment firm based out of Bangalore, and so I understand how things are happening in India. So definitely good opportunities for trained professional, good education. There is nothing wrong in going back to our country. So I don't deny that, I don't undermine it. So let's consider both the options when a kid wants to settle out and kid wants to go back after a few years of experience. Now, what is government saying? What is legally you're allowed? So legally, as a student, after you finish your graduation, you're allowed to stay for 2 more years on a student visa, and that's called a student work permit. So that allows you legally to work, and that has some challenges because within 2 years you need to find a job. And if you find a job which sponsors your visa, then it converts into a work permit. And as per the recent discussion, if you might be watching news, they used to give a 5 years to clear the PR. Now they're talking about 10 years. The PR here is called ILR, indefinite leave to remain. I know it's an odd term. Let's put it ILR rather than calling it a long name. So the PR used to be 5 years. Now they're changing it to 10 years. It's not inked yet, but yes, verbally it is confirmed. They've been talking in Parliament and all those. It used to be 10 years before, actually. In between it went to 5 years. Now it is coming back to 10 years. So what does it mean? It means a person has to do his graduation or PG here, then within 2 years find a permanent job, and that job should sponsor their visa. They have to spend 10 years on that job. After that, they can apply for ILR. Once they get ILR, which is supposedly around after 10 years, and then they can apply for a citizenship in next 6 to 9 months or 1 year time frame. So it's a roadmap of graduation plus a permanent job and 10 years plus 1 year of ILR. So it's about 12, 13, 14 years of a journey. So are you prepared for it? Do you understand that this is what it takes to settle down here permanently? So that is first thing for all of you to consider. First thing, something for you to ponder upon, that this is what it takes to be here. Now, second option is if you want to work for a few years and then go back. And as I always said, definitely yes. Why not? There are a lot of companies hungry for the right, bright mind. It has been long years, 15, 20, 30, 40 years that, our all talent has been draining out to the Western world. A lot of people are settled in US, a lot of people are settled in Australia, people settled in Singapore, in UK. So why can't we attract them back? So definitely a positive things, and government is doing everything good about it. And I'm a big fan of this particular aspect of the government, that they are definitely providing opportunities. A lot of funds are available nowadays. So what it takes to do 4 or 5 years and go back, or what it takes to settle down. So I explained to you what is the government regulation. Now, what are the challenges in this? So I'm today an employer in UK as well. This is my 5th year. I've been filing my balance sheets. I'm authorized to pick up a visa for any of my staff. Now, previously it used to be a little bit easy. Now we cannot just like that pick up a candidate. We have to verify, we have to kind of go through a government procedure. Cost has increased drastically. So cost of transferring is somewhere close to 10 to 15,000 pounds. So if I'm an employer and I have to pick up a college graduate who has come from India or any part of the world, then I have to essentially spend 10 to 15,000 pounds only on this, and plus. And minimum salary is also increased. The threshold used to be very much lower, now somewhere close to 36,000 to 38,000 pound a year. So I have to commit, if I have to hire somebody, I have to commit that kind of a salary contribution. So that's another challenge. So unless I'm very sure, I cannot just transfer a student into work permit. So this is kind of a put a lot of employers little in a back seat. So they prefer now kids who are locally available on visa rather than picking up somebody from student and converting into work permit. That is a challenge. That has been a challenge. So there are still a lot of companies which offers it, but the number has reduced, obviously. This is available. Now what happens is that 2 years they struggle to get into the work permit side of it, and if they're from the top, I mean, recently I've seen somebody approaching me from Imperial College, and every week people approach me, every month at least 10 to 15 references I get from my ex-colleagues from Infosys and from some of my candidates, some of my client side, that was invite, this kid has come, he's my niece, he's my nephew, he's my friend's son, my son, like that. Can you guide them? How do we get a job? Unfortunately, I'm into executive search here, so I only place people who have 15 plus years of experience, and almost 60% of my revenue come from US markets. So I'm not very strong in these areas. Freshers, especially, I have no clue about it. And how many I can employ. I have hired few, but I can't go beyond it. So there is a different process, and I will have another video which will talk to your kids directly. It will be a little bit of more interactive, I would say, wherein we will talk about how to land up a job after doing your graduation. And I will also get some interviews done by some of the kids who have gone through this process, and even I had a discussion with them and guided them, and they finally got a job. So that will be a particular subject, we will cover it up all. But this is what in this particular video I wanted to talk about, that what it takes to be here. And once you're here, are you clear about your objective? And people get into, especially kids, they get into high pressure if they don't get a job after 1 year, let's say after 1 year of graduation. So they're spending money here, they're staying here, and they are not getting a job, they're not getting the traction they expected, and unnecessarily they take a lot of pressure on them. They feel my parents have spent so much of money and I am a right candidate and I deserve to get a job. I'm not getting anything. So the psychologically they are under severe pressure, and they're under a lot of mental stress. So this is a very, very important thing, that as a family we need to keep talking to them, keep guiding them, tell them their objective. Do 2 years study of work. You're allowed for 2 years anyway. So go and spend good quality 2 years of work somewhere and go back and get a very good quality job back in India, because these jobs are available for such good quality candidates. Now, second option is if they have to get into a local work permit, then there is a different process. I'm going to talk about some possibilities here in the next video. So keep your eyes on this channel. Definitely next video is coming soon, wherein we're going to talk about how do we guide these kids to get into a job next. Thank you.